Assalamu alaikum. It's Mumtaz Sanwal, your host. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Mumtaz Sanwal and you're watching me on Facebook Live. Today I am going to talk with a fantastic creation of God, and he will be with me after a short few moments. He will be with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have today a fantastic man, a great motivational speaker, the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, I invited him. Whenever he will be with me, I will talk a lot of things about the motivation, and we have a great conversation. Inshallah, hopefully, we will be very beneficial for you and all the audience, all the viewers. We have with me Robert J. Moore is a therapist, international speaker, and a life coach that has impacted the lives of many through the work associated with his international award-winning best-selling book, From Rock Bottom to Success, The Better Way Formula Principles for Success. This success story has impacted the lives of over 1 lakh people through an emotional tale that hopefully I have with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am adding that Mr. Robert J. Moore adding up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Finally, we have with us, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Robert J. Moore.
How
The
are you?
Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, fantastic at all. How about you, sir?
No complaints. It's nice and having a great time today. Just working on some content to build up my programs.
It's good. It's good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Robert J. Moore is a therapist, international speaker, and a life coach that has impacted the lives of many through the work associated with his international award-winning best-selling book, From Rock Bottom to Success, and many more. The main purpose of this interview is I have a mission to interview a lot of people who are inspiring, who are motivating a lot of people in the world, and I want to uh, uh, add some work from myself. It's the mission of my journey that I have to interview the inspiring personalities. Mr. Robert J. Moore is a very inspiring, very motivational speaker. First of all, I want to know about your life story. Your life story is very fascinating, very inspiring. I want to know and I want to share your story with my audience from here from Pakistan.
Well, it turned out that it wasn't liking the way I was feeling when I was younger. Obviously, I went through a split home, which means that my family was dysfunctional. My biological mom wasn't raised with my dad, and I was a stepmom that was raising us, and she was very, very mean towards everybody but her own child. So I was afraid to actually speak up and identify my emotions because I'd get in trouble by her all the time. That led me on the path of drugs and alcohol. That also led me on the path of going in and out of jail for many, many years. It also led me on the path of going on living on the streets for 7 years, eating out of garbage cans. It wasn't until I took initiative to want something better in my life. And then I kept hearing that, oh, if you put it in your mind, you put it in your heart, body, and soul, it will happen. I had no idea what that meant. So what happened
Yes.
was I started watching the movie The Secret, Laws of Attraction, and started following certain people. So I went out
Yes.
and got my education. I got the social service worker diploma. I got my addictions degree. I got a BA in psychology, master's in counseling psychology, harm reduction. I've also got the mental health crisis. I've been certified as a clinical counselor, and I've also won, on top of that, honorary doctorate degree. So, I mean, I don't use them too much so today, because I only use parts of that to utilize as a life coach, business coach.
Okay, very, very, very good, and I'm very happy to that I am interviewing you. That you are a very inspiring personality. My audience from Pakistan, I am happy to see that a lot of people are watching, and after that we have a lot of audience. My next question: tell me how you organize, plan, and prioritize your work. That you have lot of work, a lot of assignments in your life, and you are inspiring a lot of people. How you organize, prioritize, and what are your goals?
Well, you have to remember one thing: you have to take one step at a time. Excuse me. Right now, myself and a business partner of mine, Kennedy Iden, who's watching right now, we're doing a series of events. We're actually putting together events where we get 10 people on stage per event. We're doing 10 events, and then we're going to do a huge summit at the end where we get a whole bunch of people on stage. We get people, and the thing is, I coach people and teach them how to get on stage. Like I've been seen on interviews, magazines all over the world. I've been spoken and asked to speak on stage with some world-class people like Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Raymond Aaron, Eric Thomas, Douglas Vermeeren, and I've also co-authored books with people. And when I co-author a book, I always get a celebrity to do the forward in it, so that it raises it up quite a bit. And you know what? I just won. My own child standing right here, and she doesn't know this yet. I got an email the other day asking me my address, because one of my clients has actually nominated me for an award, and I won the award. I had to give them my address, and I said, okay. I said, who's the client? They wanted to keep anonymous. I have no problem with that. It was the
Yes,
what was it now? It was the Leadership Award 2018. And it says on the
yes,
bottom, thanks for being an amazing coach.
yes,
Absolutely amazing. You know, to have your own student recognize you in that manner.
yes. Okay, okay. What made you interested in motivational speaking? I want to know about what circumstances that you put your emphasis on motivational speaking. You think that you have to go for the inspiring people, you have to go for coaching people, you have to go for teaching students or other people who are striving, who are depressed, who are demotivated from their lives.
Well, see, the thing is, I mean, there's a certain structure of people I deal with. People that have anxiety, people that have fear. I'm an emotional specialist overall at the end, emotional and behavioral specialist. That's because I studied that for years, but I utilize that. And like I said, as a life coach, business coach, if you're a business person and you want to go higher and higher up and you want to get on that stage and you have that fear, anxiety to get on stage, I help you get on that stage. I help you with the body language. I help you with the structure of how to sell from stage, the structure of how to be on stage and not worry about what people are critiquing or saying, and enhance their branding and properly market themselves so that they get themselves up to that level where they want to be. I also deal with people that have never been on stage before in their life and they want to learn. So I give them a little longer course. I normally do an 8-week course. And that 8-week course, they learn so much about themselves. They learn the interior emotions. They learn how to stand on stage, how to balance themselves. And you know what? Empowering behaviors ultimately shape their lives towards better outcomes anyways.
Hopefully, I hope that my audience is enjoying this video, and hopefully it will be very helpful for the people who are watching us. So next question is that what set you apart from other motivational speakers? What you
Well,
have
it's not
specialty
I'm
in
not
you?
See, I'm not in competition with nobody. I don't do competition. I just be me. It's not a matter of setting myself out apart with other motivational speakers. The reason why I don't set myself out apart with other motivational speakers is because everybody has their own knack. Everybody has their own way of expressing things. Everybody has their own story, their own thought. I help people tell their story in such a way that other people will want to work with them, right? And that's what I do. I mean, I help people tell their story. I help people get on stage and shape their fears and shape their nerves and help utilize their own skills in order to make themselves a better person. And you know what? It enhances their business like crazy. It's not a matter of being in competition with people, because if you're in competition, you're worried about what they're doing. I'm going to stick with what I'm doing.
Okay, okay. And do you think that goal setting is necessary for successful life, or you want to achieve something, that goal setting is, how much goal setting is necessary?
Well, see, the thing is, if you want to vision yourself at this level here, and you're only at this level, we need to understand one thing. In order to climb, you're going to have obstacles. You need to set minor goals in order to make yourself it happen. Myself, I went from little tiny goals to bigger goals to huge goals. Now, you know what? I said before, straight out forward, I wanted to be on stage with Les Brown. I wanted to be on stage with Bob Proctor. I wanted to be on stage with Raymond Aaron. And I made it happen. It can happen if you want it to happen. Whatever goal it is, just remember, you have to know your why. When you know your why, it becomes you, and you put your emotions, your balances in there. And then when you start using that and you utilizing your goals and your thoughts and your dreams, everything else with the how will come in part, because of the fact that the how is when you hire a coach. I've hired some of the best coaches in the world. I've hired Eric Thomas. I've hired the guy from operations manager from Napoleon Hill. I've hired, like Thick and Grow Rich. I've also hired Les Brown. I got Les Brown right now today. I've hired Ted McGrath. I've hired all these top people in the world to teach me, because I don't want to mess around. I want to strictly know the best, and I know they're going to do the best they can, because they're not afraid to tell you as it is. And if you get a coach that's going to enable you, you're not going to ever make it. I care more about what's going on with the person today in their field than I do their emotions at the time, because their emotions I could deal with later. They need to hear the truth.
Yes, thank you. Here, do you think that I have a problem in common we have in our youth, that we are not consistent. If we set our goals, and after setting the goals, we have to be consistent on that goals. But we have not consistency in our working style, in our achieving goals. A lot of things we are lacking in achieving that goals. Do you think
Well,
that
see
how
the thing
can
is,
we,
if you're letting yourself
how,
not be consistent, if you're not being consistent of your goals, and they're not really going to be affecting your emotions, you're obviously following the wrong dream. The way I see it, if it meant something to you to actually have that why, quote unquote why, the why you're getting up in the morning, why you're going to work, why you're doing the things you're doing, why you go to bed at a certain hour to get that rest, why you connect with these certain people. If you look at your why, you won't have to worry about consistency, because it will automatically be there. And procrastination won't be there either. Procrastination is just what I call is something simple. There's no such thing as procrastination. All it is something that's not worthy of you. So otherwise, if I said to you, I'll meet you down at the corner, I'll give you $1 million at 5 o'clock, I'm pretty sure you'll be there at 4:45. Right?
right,
And
right.
the
We have a
reason for
lot of
that,
this.
the reason
Yes,
for that is because people don't put enough emphasis on what they're doing. So they procrastinate on the stuff that they don't really care about. If you really go and grind and hustle on the stuff that you really want in your life, it's going to happen. You got to keep pushing it, pushing it, pushing. And when you start feeling that uncomfortable pain, that means you're growing. It doesn't mean you have to stop. It means push through it, push through it. You can get there.
right, right. we have a lot of failure in our life. We can't don't have any clear why. How can we determine our why, and how can we learn from our failure?
Learning from your failures is one thing. All right. You obviously know that a certain way don't work. Obviously, don't do it again. You could change that pattern. I'm a behavioral specialist. So you could change that pattern. If you're doing something 2-3 times and it doesn't work that way, you have to find out the how. The how's in somebody you hire that's already been there. Always ask the question to a coach. Hire a coach. Get connected with people that like-minded, that are above you, that have already done the pattern. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're not going to get anywhere. Always be the dumbest person in the room. That way you're learning. Now, the thing is, if you want to move forward and learn your why, like you said, if you want to learn your why, you got to sit down with a pen and paper. Look at your priorities. Put 15 priorities on a piece of paper. When you have those 15 priorities on a piece of paper, take the top 5. All right? Because our mind is tricked. When we put 15 down, we're always putting the top 5 actually up there that mean something in our heart. Look at those top 5. Make an understanding of those top 5 and look at your why. Mine's right here in this house. I got 3 children in the house. I got a wife in the house. That to me is my why. I'll never let them suffer the way I did in my life.
Well, as I want to be a motivational speaker and international motivational speaker, what I have to do first in my life, I don't know about. I am weak in English speaking. I don't know about a lot of languages. What are the steps I have to take to be a fantastic and international motivational speaker like you, like other motivational speakers?
Well, first thing first, you always have to realize one thing. If you want to be an international speaker, you got to learn an international problem and serve that problem. So basically, if I want to go to Pakistan and say, listen, I want to speak out here, I got to learn what Pakistan's all about. I got to learn what they suffer with, and I got to give them the solution to get out of it. You can't do anything without giving an international solution. If you want to come to Canada and speak, you're going to have to brush up on certain things. Like you said, your English and that, just practice your English. When you get over here, you have to actually learn what the problem is that you're going to talk about. You have to study that problem. What solutions can you offer to get those people up to a new level? That is the biggest thing right there about doing international speaking. Like right there, my buddy Frankie there, my buddy Frank Sagasa. I talked on his panel. All right, that's international. He's in Arizona. I'm in Canada. When I spoke on his panel, I talked about things on that panel that were affecting those people out there and that helped those people out there because it's an international problem. So if you solve an international problem by giving the solutions, people want you.
Okay, right. I want to do some things for my society. I want to do some positive things for my society. We are deprived people. We have no rights. We have not uh, education. We have not you can say that recent research with us. We can't have any opportunity to study the international research about how can
Hey, you
we
just said
set our.
the key words right there. You just said the key stuff right there. We're not having education. We don't have this. We don't have that. Well, make it have that. Make yourself have that.
Yes,
Get online. Get yourself educated. Do yourself the favor. All right. Learn more about speaking. Get online. You got internet. Obviously, we're on the line right now together. You start looking at people that you respect. So start watching videos. You say you respect me. Get on YouTube. Watch my videos. Look at Les Brown's. Look at Eric Thomas's. Look at the people that inspire you the most. You start learning from them what they have done to get there. I have studied 40 of the top achievers in the world. 40 of the top achievers in the world in the last 15 years of my life. And the reason why I did that is because I want to be where I'm at today. And I had to do that by studying these people. Some of these people I've interviewed like this. Some of them I've talked face to face. Some of them I've shared stage with. And you know what? I'll continue to do that until the day I die. I want to do another 40 in the next 5 to 10 years.
Right, right. You are saying that if you have passion, if you have a lot of uh, dreaming about that, you can achieve each and everything. Sir, what qualification do you possess for your job? What type of qualifications? First of all,
You just
you
need to be
tell.
an expert in your
I
field.
want.
You just need to be an expert in your field. First of all, for yourself, you want to be a motivational speaker, you pick a topic. That topic is likely going to be you. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can tell you you're wrong. You're living your life. You're the one. I could teach. If you hired me, I could teach you how to tell your story. And then all of a sudden you're telling your story to others and you're making sense of it. I got a guy that last week on Saturday, never told his story in his life. I coached him. Then I said to him right when we're there, he never knew he was getting up on stage. I said, Corey, you're up on stage. He got up on stage and he just commanded that stage like big time. He made sure that he got his story out, and he did it in 10 minutes. And you know what? We all applaud him. He gave him a standing ovation. First time he's ever told a story. So if you want to be the best you could be, you have to learn what you've been through in your life. You have to learn how to tell your story. You have to learn how to produce the things that you need to produce. You have to put your vision and your heart, body, and soul into it and say, listen, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. You know, if you want to be a millionaire, put $1 million, like put $100 up top on your ceiling or print off $1 million thing. Put it up on your ceiling. Every morning you wake up and you say, I'm going to be a millionaire. It's going to happen. Don't know how, because you have to worry about the how with a sponsor or somebody that's going to be a coach. You never have to worry about the how. You always got to look at the why.
Right, right. Sir, tell me about your inspirations in motivational speakers or other family members or your teachers. Uh, who are the main inspiration who changed your life?
Well, you're looking at Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Douglas Ramirez, Raymond Aaron, Jim Ron, Ziegler. I can name thousands of people off. Tony Robbins, I started off with Tony Robbins. I checked him out. I studied him for a while. I went to his event, met up with him, and I checked to see how his event was all structured, because that was me. I want to do this in the future. So if I get to study these people and I want to learn by these people, I got to know what makes them tick. But I can't be them. I have to be me. So now you take from all the people I've studied, 40 people, I take a piece of the 40 people like that. And I take that and put it into my own program and make it mine. So that allows me to be the top two. That allows me to get my programs out there, because now I'm learning what everybody else wants. For instance, my book, The Better Way Formula, Principles for Success, it became #1 in 2 days internationally. And the reason why is because I studied for 6 months everybody in my community, on my Facebook, my clients, on my Twitter, on my LinkedIn. The reason why I studied that is because I want to know what people were struggling with. When I found out what people were struggling with, all I did was took those struggles, put them in the book, but what I went through, and gave the solution of how I come over it. That's as simple as anything, because now you got people that learning what they want to know. You got to give them a solution
Right.
that they're interested in.
Right, right. In our society, when we are going to do some work, when we dream a big dream, we have a big dream, lot of negativity here, jealousy. How do you handle your jealousy or your negativity in your life?
Let the haters be haters. Let them be haters. They make you stronger. Let the haters be haters. I like what the big dreamer, Greg Walker, a good brother of mine, he says it best. You're too big to dream small. You might as well dream big. You're too big to dream small. How you ever going to
Yes.
get anywhere if you're going to allow other people? You know what? Even Les Brown says it. Don't let what other people say about you become your own reality. If they want to hate you, if they want to cut you up and down for it, enjoy it. Go for it. You're not bugging me now because I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. Let the haters be haters. They're the ones that'll make you want to work harder and work harder because you're not showing them, you're showing you.
Right, right.
Hey,
I am a teacher of biology in an elementary school. I put some questions to my students that I asked that what you want to be in your life. From my students, one of them stand up and with very excitement, he told me that I want to be a tailor master.
really?
how ca- how can we broad the vision of upcoming generation, or this is not a big dream? How can you say that I want to be a tailor master? There are a lot of things, there are a lot of dreams in life, in this world. How can we broaden the vision of this generation, this youth, upcoming youth?
You know what? It doesn't matter what age you are. We always have a vision of what we want to be. It may not be that 5 years from now. It may not be that 10 years from now. I had a vision when I was actually maybe 12 years old. I wanted to be a fireman. Evidently, I'm not a fireman. The thing
Yes.
is, when I started growing and I started seeing what really touches me inside, if you find that touch inside, that's something that really gets you moving. You work 18 hours a day. All right. Check this out. If you work 18 hours a day and you don't feel like you're working, that's kind of a passion. You got to follow that passion that you're going to. If you want to be a speaker and you're working full-time job, well, then you have to start doing things on a part-time speaking. You got to start learning. You got to start putting yourself in that position. Sometimes you have to start locally. I started out speaking in schools. I started out speaking in local community, but I found out it wasn't getting me nowhere. So then I went on Facebook and started giving solutions. I started telling people solutions to help them overcome their fears, overcome their anxiety, help them overcome the person they are, and help them become from resistance and stuck. I help people today get in books. You know what I do? Here's one thing I did. Because I'm an internationally best-selling author and an award-winning author internationally, I decided to put a book together. Magnetic Entrepreneur, a personality that attracts. The thing is, with this book, I said, listen, why would I take all the credit for it? Let me get people in this book and do chapters with me. So now I got, say 15 people. I haven't counted how many people. I think it's 15-ish. Let me count 15 people and get them in this book with me and let them grow with me. So now they pay a certain fee. They get a chapter. They get to tell their story. It's advertising for one because they have their website in there, their picture, their bio in there. Plus, I have a celebrity that's actually doing the forward for me. Someone that's up here. I'm here. He's there. And all the people are scattered around here. So now all these people I bring to my level. And the reason why I bring them to my level is because there's no reason for people to be down there at that level. They don't need to be stuck. Give them an ounce of hope and they will go somewhere. So that's why I did. I gave them an ounce of hope because as soon as this book is released, it's going to be an internationally best-selling author. Guess what? Everybody in that book gets that title. When you get that title, it's like, wow, I got a client right now that's never written a book, never written nothing in his life. He wanted to be a dream come true. He wanted to be a best-selling author. I said, look, here's what you do. You pay me this money. You get in the book. Within 2 or 3 months' time, you will be a best-selling author. He goes, how does that work? I said, because you're associated with me. I put you on the front cover. I put you in the book. I put out all the marketing and everything on my end. Now you got to realize one thing.
Yes.
You're a best-selling author. What do you do with it? Now he can write
Yes.
another book and say, I'm a best-selling author. And now that book, it's called credibility. Now it's called credibility because now you got something credible behind you. And that's what you need to build. I mean, if you're doing things that are credible in India and you want to do something, always let people know your credibility. And the credibility is not what you talk about. It's what other people talk about for you. When someone's talking about me, like when you introduced me, that was credibility, not when I introduced myself. Because when I introduce myself, it's called bragging. When you do it, it's called credibility, and then all of a sudden it goes somewhere.
Right, right. Every person have a struggling phase in his life. What do you think that struggling phase, a very learning phase? We have mostly we have struggling phase, or you in which way you handled your struggling phase, and what was your learning from the struggling phase of your life when you are struggling to cope
Struggling,
up your
you're
yes.
always going to struggle. No matter what there is, you're always going to have some kind of obstacle. You just don't have to look at it negatively. When something comes in my life that I struggle and try and get over, I don't look at it as a struggle. I look at it as an obstacle to grow. What it is an obstacle there that's going to allow you to grow. You just got to learn how to get past it, how to move forward, how to get that from where it doesn't make you feel comfortable to making you feel comfortable. It's called acceptance. A lot of times we don't accept the things that happen in our life. For instance, I was growing. My dad got to see me on stage with Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Raymond Aaron. And next thing you know, he got to see my little baby, right? My 3-month-old baby. And he died the next day. That slowed me down a bit because I was in pain. I was vulnerable. But I got on Facebook and I let people know, hey, I'm vulnerable right now. This is what's happening. So now people got to see me grow. People got to see me how I went through that. It allowed me to actually be human in some people's eyes, because a lot of people grow up, well, you can't cry in front of others because that's wrong. Well, if you're vulnerable, why would you cry in the bathroom? You're not going to get the help, right? If you're vulnerable, you need the help. You need to ask for the help. So if you want to
Yes.
grow, and you want to do the right thing, here's
Yes.
my solution on this. For yourself personally, you said there's a lot of struggles out there. It's poverty. It's got a lot of things going on that there isn't allowed. You could easily make a change. All these interviews you do right now, you could tell people, hey,
Yes.
how about 50 pesos or something, How about 50 pounds or something? Or how about $50? You do an interview. You're marketing the person that's there. You're bringing them in your network, right? All the people on your Facebook get to see it. There's a solution for you. Even if it was $25, that sure brings
Yes.
up a lot of money, right? Because our money at but $20 is $15,000 in your pocket. It's a nice conversion. It's a whole different conversion on the money. But then you have to look at another thing. What could you do to get out there more? The more people you interviewed, the more people you get on their sites. So now you're connected with my stuff. All the 5,000 people on my Facebook, my connections, you're connected with now because they get to watch the video and see what's going on. Because I
Yeah, true.
shared it, right? I shared it, and someone else is going to share it. There's going to be comments. There's going to be things happening. People are going to see it and say, hey, I like to be on with this guy too.
Good. Right, right. Well, what is your, this is my last question about your life story, because your life story is very inspiring for me and a lot of other people. What is your core philosophy about your life, your successful life, your this phase of motivational speaking or inspiring, or you are NLPer also. What is your core philosophy?
What's my goal at the end? I never want it to end.
Core
First of all,
philosophy. Core.
my goals is I've already helped over 100,000 people.
I'm talking about your core philosophy. Core philosophy. What do you think about life? Core philosophy.
I
What do
love
you
life. I
want
love life.
till the end?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. My goals, all right, I've already did 100,000 people, right? My philosophy of it is, if you don't have a goal seeking strategy, you're not going to get anywhere, because it's a vision. The vision will take
Yes.
you places, right? You have to have a vision in your life in order to get somewhere. So your philosophy that you're talking about or thinking of, you want to reach that. Now here's your goal. You want to reach it, but there's all these barriers in between. How do you get over those barriers? You have to go through the burning sensation. Deep down inside, we have things inside of us that we need to deal with. Each individual. If you can't deal with it, there's a counselor out there. Deal with the counselor. Talk to people. Get it out of your system. Write it down on paper, right? When you write something on paper, you're taking ownership to it. When you take ownership to it, you're allowing yourself to digest that situation and overcome it, especially with the emotions, because you're identifying it. So when you're looking at philosophy of any kind of goal, I think it's a power in between that, because your feelings are coming out to the universe. And when you're coming out to the universe is allowing you to have that goal. It's called the Law of Attraction, the movie Law of Attraction, and the movie The Secret. All right? When you have those two together, and I've watched both of those, I've watched how people grown through them. It's like a vision board. You put everything on the vision. There's only one thing that people don't realize, one thing though. You could put all you want on that vision board, but you have to be very clear of what it is. And what do I mean by that? If you do not know how much that home costs, if you say you want a big home, all built in stone, but you don't know the cost, you don't do an estimation of it, well, how are you ever going to get that? How are you going to be clear on it? If you can't be clear on the situation, how are you ever going to get it? It's just too hard to do, right? And that's a powerful thing. So that's why my vision is to have 5,000 people out in the crowd. And I'm going to have a summit with a buddy of mine. So I'm going to speak in front of 5,000 people in the crowd and have so many people on stage that are top people in the world. Out there sharing the story, sharing their stuff, making sure, and that's a dream of mine. And it's going to happen. It's slowly happening right now. That's the most powerful thing out there in my world.
That was my last question, but I have I have a question. Tell me tell the story of your book that you are saying that my bestseller book. Uh, uh, you can say that little bit about that book. What is
I got
vision
two
of that book?
books that became international bestsellers.
Yes.
The one of them actually allowed me to go to London, England, to receive the Author of the Year award. Now that's from rock bottom to success. It talks about everything I went through as rock bottom. I call rock bottom. Everybody's got a different rock bottom. All right, so I talk about everything that I went through and all the struggles I've been through. And you know what? The best thing about it is because in fact, not a lot of people want to hear about my story, but they want to hear about their emotions so they can interact with it. So because of the fact I got all the psychology I have, I got all the education, I made sure I put all the emotions all the way through that book so people could understand that book. So now people can identify how I felt. They might not know that, what it was like to go drinking, but I explain it how I was feeling so they have a clear understanding. So then I talk about my success. I deal with my success, and it is an emotional base. And the reason why I did that is because I allow people to see when you're growing on success, there's too many people that get success and they mess it up because their emotions take over and destroy their intelligence. So they'll say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and they get messed up. So I want them to understand that you can grow at the same time, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. So my second book that actually hit, Rock Bottom to Success. Now, first of all, actually, the Rock Bottom Success I put a forward in. It's called From Forward Will It. He actually read my book and put my forward in. That guy works for Jack Canfield. All right. The second one, the better way formula, it talks about the principles that will allow people to grow, allow people to enhance their life. When you sit there and read that and you say, oh, I understand that very clearly. I make sure people understand my story in there that allows them to grow. And the person that did the forward on that one, the the person that did the forward in that one was the big dreamer, Greg Walker. He's Les Brown's right-hand man.
Yes. One, you can say that sense of humor question that you about Imran Khan, political leader of Pakistan, Imran Khan, former cricketer.
I did not. No, I've been very, very busy.
Okay, okay. Last message to the generation of Pakistan. Your message will be the really very fantastic for us. That you are a motivational, inspirational personality for us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
One thing I want to say: when a goal is specific and clear, it becomes attainable and near.
Good. Thank you very much for being with me, sir. It's your love. You give me honor and give me time. Thank you very much. I hope you will be once again with me upcoming days. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you very much for
By the
your
way,
time.
nice shirt.
Thank you. Thank you very
Both got the
much.
same color on.
Contrast color, you can say that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
All
You
right.
are.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Allah
Thanks
Hafiz.
for having me.